there will be an agreement or a hidden agreements between buyers and sellers to sell a certain price and a certain quantity, and they are both agreed to communicate in a hidden way, and the markets communicate in a hidden way, and they are satisfied. How in a hidden way? We have spoken about the invisible hand اللي هي اليد الخفية اللي بتتحكم في السوق. Invisible hand control the markets and determine the price of supply and demand, the equilibrium price, and determine the equilibrium quantities. So in this case, the value buyers are satisfied. The buyers are satisfied with the price, and also the sellers are satisfied with the price, and they are satisfied also with the quantity. Determining that something related to opportunity cost and the value buyers place on the products. How do they value the products? Different offers in the market, different communication, hidden communication in the markets between buyers and sellers. Also, it is valued by the cost and benefits by the buyers, the market or other competitors, what they are offering to the markets. All of these things or factors determine the equilibriums or the equilibrium points and the interactions between demand and supply. Okay, فهذه هي التوازن اللي بيصير في السوق. What if there is excess in demand or in supply. excess اللي هو فائض، يكون عندي فائض في الديماند في الطلب أو فائض في العرض. What happens if this is the case? I would say there is an excess in supply. Excess in supply if the supplied quantity more than the required quantity. So this is the equilibrium point in the middle. But what if the market suppliers offers 16 points at the price of 4, while the requirements in the markets and the buyers would like only to buy 8? They offer 16 because the price is 4. What is the equilibrium price in this case? Maybe it is 3. Maybe the equilibrium price is 3. But the sellers offer in the price of 4. They are not offering in the price of 3 because of different things. Why they are not offering of the price of 3? Why? What do you think? Why the supplier is not offering at the price of 3 and they offer at the price of 4? There are some things hidden you don't know. Maybe only the seller know. What do you think? ليش ما يبيعوا بالسعر اللي هو التوازن السعر 3؟ ليش فكر السبلايرز انه يبيع بالسعر 4؟ Why they think to sell at the price of 4? What do you think? انت الان محلل اقتصادي. You are economist. You are studying microeconomics and you have to know why the sellers have just said. No, the demand is low, maybe because the price is low. If the prices goes down to the 3 level of 3, so it will be fine. They will buy more than 8. So here it will be maybe 10 if the price is lower. So this is the law of demand and the law of supply, and this is the equilibrium here in the middle at the price maybe of 3 and the quantity of 10. Why they are not determining this price as equilibrium? Why the supplier sells at 4 and it has an excess in supply? فائض في العرض عندي هنا. ليش عندي فائض في العرض? Why do I have the excess in supply? The excess in supplies happen because of different factors. I would say maybe new technology comes to the industries and increase the supplements of the goods. I would say This is good one, Mehrin. Surplus in supply. Thank you. So that in that case, they increase the supply, but the price is still 4. The price should go down if they increase the supply. Maybe the demand is very low. Maybe there is another alternative. بديل آخر للسلعة. فالناس اللي بيشتروا بطلوا يشتروا منها. Maybe if it is a pizza, they prefer not to eat a pizza. They prefer to eat a hamburger or a sandwich. So no demand on that goods. What if there is excess demand? So here will be what's happening in here in this case, in excess supply case. There will be excess supply وحيكون هنا عندي فائض. الفائض اللي هي الكمية هذه. إذا قال لك حدد لي الفائض, if you've been told determine the surplus is this triangle. It's the difference between the demand curve and the supply curve from the top. This is the surplus اللي هو الفائض. نجي ل other things on the right. There will be a shortage if the demand exceeds the supply. So if the demand 16 while the supply is 8, هنا حيكون عندي ايش؟ shortage, نقص. The suppliers offer only 8 and the demand is 16, so there will be a shortage, and this triangle is, we call it the shortage area, منطقة العجز, which is the difference. What is the equilibrium? The equilibrium, the price could be 3 and the quantity could be 10. If I said 10. Why the shortage happened? Because the supplier are not happy to sell at this price. They are not happy to sell at the price of 2. So they don't offer more goods at this price. At the price of 2, they are not willing to sell 16 units. If the price increase, they will sell more. But the price now at 2. If the price goes to 4, they will be able, or they will be willing to sell at 4. More quantity, they will sell 16. But in here, there will be a shortage because the price is low. We earlier says the price is something good for the seller. If the price increase, the supply will increase. If the price is increased, the supplies will increase again, and it will reach the top until the end, until there will be like a surplus, as you see on the left diagram. طيب كيف أحل المشكلة? How to solve this issue if the surplus of إذا كان عندي فائض في العرض, surplus in supply. How do I serve it? Each supplier has incentives, عنده حافز to decrease the price in order to sell more. هيحاول يخفض السبلايرز السعر. Exactly, Fatma. He will decrease the price until it goes to the equilibriums. Lower price decrease the surplus. كل ما خفض السعر كل ما باع أكثر. If he increase the price, he will sell less. If he decrease the price, and he will sell more. The quantity offered for sales decrease along the supply curves. هتقل طبعا الكمية اللي يعرضها لأنه بيخفض السعر, and this is the law of supply. As long as he is going down in the price, he will sell less because he doesn't want to sell more. He wants at this price, at the price of 3. He wants to sell more at the price of 4. In that case, the price or the quantity offered in the market will be decreased, and the quantity demand, the demanded quantity will ايش؟ will increase ولا decrease لما يخفضوا السعر؟ If the price goes down, the demanded quantity will increase. Thank you. Not decrease, Radria. It's If the price goes down, the demanded quantity will increase, and they will back to the equilibrium point. Same thing we can say here. Each supplier has an incentive to increase the price in order to sell more. High prices decrease the shortage. هنا عندنا في الشورتج إذا كان عندي the seller will increase the quantity that they sell. هيزودوا الكمية. طبعا كل ما زيد الكمية هيزيد الطلب. هيتلاقوا في النهاية at the equilibrium point and the middles. What we said on the supply side, we say on the demand side at the same time. So the market communicate information effectively regarding this. كيف بيصير سعر التوازن؟ الماركت هو اللي بيتحدد. Market communicate information. Hidden communications between buyer and sellers. Value buyers place on the products. قديش بيقيم، وهذه تكلمنا عنها أو we have spoken about it earlier in chapter 1, how people evaluate the goods and according to that they will determine the price on it. Opportunity cost of producing the products. تكلفة الفرصة البديلة لإنتاج السلعة. Every producers have different opportunity cost to produce the goods, and this also will determine the equilibrium point. Markets maximizing the difference between benefits and cost. Markets outcomes are the best provided that the market in equilibrium and no cost or benefits are shared with the public. So this is the mechanism of the markets, or the hidden or the invisible hand that moves along the demand and the supply curves and determine the equilibrium point or the market equilibrium. So إذا سئلت, if you've been asked define the market equilibriums in the exam excuse me, you may get a question in the exam asking about the market equilibriums. What is the market equilibrium? It's a point that price and quantities are equals in the market. The market equilibrium is stable. If we move away from the market equilibrium, there are market forces. And it will take me back or take us back to the market equilibrium. قوى السوق بتعيد تجاذبك وجذبك إلى نقطة التوازن. In most countries, government interfere with the free market to attempt to ease the burden of the poor. الحكومات بتتدخل في بعض الدول عشان تعيد سعر التوازن، بتشيل حمل أو عبء على الناس الفقراء إنهم يتحملوا أسعار عالية قد يستغلها بعض التجار ويرفعوا الأسعار. We will see how that can happen. What if the equilibrium price was perceived as too high? What if the equilibrium price was perceived as too long? You know, the equilibrium price where we interact between intersections between demand and supply curve. What if it is perceived as a high price? What do you think? Is it okay? Is it good situation or positions when that happen? يعني إذا دولة sometimes perceive that the price of house rent is too high and they have to interfere to make it lower than that. Do you think this is a good thing that the government or the country interfere to adjust that? Who can say? Is it a good thing? Yes. Country interferes to adjust the equilibrium in the market. Do you think it's a good way? The house rent is too high and the government will interfere to make it low. Yes, is it good? You think it's good? No? Somebody say yes, somebody say no. The answer is yes and no. It is good things, it's a good practice to ease this burden from the poor people and allow them to have lower rents. That's good things for people, and it is good to legalize the maximum price for houses and rents do not exceed that number of that figure in renting a house. This is a good thing, but that could create another problem in the economy. In economy, it might cause or create another problems like what? إذا حددت الدولة حد أعلى أو حد أدنى للإيجارات، سقف للإيجارات، ما تتجاوزوا يا مؤجرين مبلغ 3000 لإيجار البيت، ممكن إنه يأثر negatively impact سلبيا على شيء آخر another things like what will happen in here. خلينا أفكر معاكم بطريقة اقتصادية. Let's think in an economic way and see what could happen in that case. The government legalized the maximum price for rent. Economic problem like what? Will the sellers will be happy with that? The owners will be, are they going to be happy? Are they happy? Okay, what's the supply law say? إيش بيقول لنا قانون العرض؟ The supply law says if the price goes down, the quantity will be more or less. Quantity will be less. Exactly. So you understand the concept now. And this will create a problem of having no more houses to rent. ما حيكون عندي لأنه الإيجار أصبح رخيص فما راح تأجر الدولة بإيجار رخيص. This will not be happen at all. So equilibrium price perceives as too high. Now the government came and set the price ceiling. See here what we call the price ceilings comes from down, and this is the supply curve, and the government comes and say 800 is the price ceiling. Do not sell or rent houses more than $800 or reals, and the demand was more than that. So the offered in the market is only 1 unit, maybe at the price of determined by the government, 800. But the buyers would like to have more. So the market now should be in this area where supply and demand interact. But the government came and interfered, and they say, no, we have to determine the prices of rents, and we have to put something, we call it price ceiling. إذا جاك سؤال في الامتحان, if it comes in exams, what is the price ceiling? Price ceiling is a legal maximum price by the government, examples for the rent, so to control the rent. So it is the maximum price that can be charged for given apartment or a unit. هذا أعلى سعر ممكن إنه تأجر فيه الوحدة, and the government has proposed that price. What's the consequences? What's the negative impact on that? There will be a shortage. حيكون عندي نقص in legal market. حيكون عندي discriminations, تمييز, مش يجي واحد ياخذ البيت. Not anyone could take the house. Only relatives of the real estate agents will have the houses at this price. So there will be a discriminations in housing rents. حيصير عندنا deposits اللي هو ايش بيسموه خلو رجل, زي ما بيقولوا المصريين الاخوان المصريين, خلو رجل. deposits or a key deposits اللي هو I will not give you the price of 800 until you pay in advance like 10,000 or something like that. This is what we call a deposit. Okay, Fairuz, you did not get the price ceiling. It's in the front of you. Should I say it again? Okay. مفهوم البرايس ceiling. Price ceiling is a legal maximum price proposed by the government. اللي هو هذا. This is the price ceiling proposed by the government عشان ايش؟ to determine the lowest price for rent, for example. This is the supply curve, and the government came and proposed a legal price for renting house. So this is the legal price proposed by the government. Okay? What happens if the government proposed the legal price? There will be excess demand. Excess demand is this area. This triangle is the excess demand. So people will ask for 3 units while the supplier will only offer 1 unit. So there will be a shortage. الconsequences للexcess or the price ceiling هيكون عندي shortage. Something missing here. So we need to offer more houses because the demand is 3 and the supply is 1. So there will be a shortage. There will be again less maintenance for the houses. الناس owners or properties owners will not maintain the house in a good way. So because they are not getting the price they want, because the government has legalized the payment or the rent. Also there will be a consequences as key deposits. There will be a discriminations. It will not be given to anyone. So the market should offer at least 2 units to satisfy the high demand. What should be done to solve this issue? To solve these issues, suppliers has to increase the offers, the supplements. They have to increase the supplements until we reach the equilibriums between demand and supply. At the same time, there are something we call price floor. Price floor. هذيك سميناها price ceiling. Now we are talking about price floor. Price floor. Also, the governments interfere here in the markets. If the government think that the price is too low, price of what? لنفترض it's the price of wages اللي هي الأجور. The government came and determined minimum wages to publics or to employers, to laborers. جات الجفرمنت وقالت لهم 8,000 is the minimum wage. Okay, or 4, it is 4 here. 4 is the minimum wages. Don't pay wages or salaries less than 4. So the suppliers will offer that quantities and the demand will be in that quantities. So if the equilibrium price, which is 3, and the wages was 3, and in here the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity determined at 3, but the government came and say the wages is too low, you have to increase the wages for the labor and make it 4. So the government here receives the equilibrium price, which is 3, as it is too low, and they increase the wage to be 4. This area, we will call it a surplus. فائض في العرض. فائض في العرض. Surplus, because there will be supply of people who want to work more than the demand of the jobs. حيكون ناس كثير ودهم يشتغلوا بالسعر اللي هو 4 ويصيروا معروضين للوظائف، طالبين وظائف، لكن الشركات ما تبغى توظفهم بال4، ودها توظفهم بال3. فحيكون عندي هنا فائض في العرض، وحيصير عندي ايش في الاقتصاد اسميها بطالة. بطالة حيصير عرض كثير والناس ما تبغى توظف 4. Sorry, I have just translated this to Arabic. I would say it again in English. So if I have job offered or supply for the laborers will be more than the requirement of the market. This will cause this area, which is a surplus or فائض. This will cause unemployment in the society. So people who would like to work will be more than the market requirement or the organization that want to offer jobs for people at this price. So this will be cause a surplus أو فائض in the market of works. Yes, correct, Hello. This is correct. واضح? Is it clear? Is it clear? Should I move on? Any questions? So we have understood how to solve the surplus and the shortage, and we understood the concept of price floor and the price ceiling. We'll go on. If we know how the factors that govern supply and demand curve are changing, we can make informed predictions about how prices and corresponding quantities will change, and it is important to distinguish a change in quantity demanded for a change in demand. So this is invisible things, so we don't know what's going on, what's happening, ولا كنا اتخذنا القرار الصحيح. Okay, we will move to another point here, which is moving along the demand curve, and this is what we understood, what we learned earlier at the beginning of chapter 3. We understood that the price goes up and the quantities goes if the price goes up, the required quantity will be less. If the price is 1, the required quantity 10. If the price is 2, the required quantity will be 8. So as long the price goes up, the required quantity will go down along the demand curve. Along the demand curve يعني فقط only على منحنى الطلب. This is the demand curve. But I have here shift in demand curve. بيتحرك منحنى الطلب. كيف بيتحرك منحنى الطلب? How the demand curve move to the right or to the left? How? If buyers are willing to buy more at each price when the demand has increased, move the entire demand curve to the right. إذا نفس البuyers become more. أنا عندي at the beginning I have 10 buyers only here in this demand. Now the buyers become 100. So nothing happened in here. The price is not changes, not changing in price to go up or down, but the buyers become more. They become 100 instead of 10. So the demand curve will shift to the right. It will not shift to the left. It will shift to the right. If it comes in the exam, question in the exams will come this way. It's analytical questions asking you how to determine the price in how to determine the movement of the demand curve to the right and to the or to the left, which side it will be moved. So according to the microeconomics theory, it should move to the right. So we'll move the entire demand curve to the right. This is because of increments in demand, increments in the number of buyers. Maybe not just this is the reason. May you think of different reason increase or shift the demand curve to the right. Who can say what also can shift the demand curve to the right? مين يقول لنا كمان what things can cause the demand curve to shift to the right? Can you tell us? Oh, great, Marine. This is a good one. For normal goods only. Hang on. I would answer Khulud questions. If the price high, the curves go right, and if the demand low, the curve go to the left. This is incorrect, Khulud. I said earlier, if the price high or low, we will move along the demand curve. حنتحرك على منحنى الطلب only. We will move along the demand curve if the price goes down and if the price goes up. We will move along the demand curve. But here I'm asking what shifting the demand curve to the right or to the left. So I said if the numbers of buyers are more than expected, this will increase the demand. Increase the demand, not increase the demand curve. Increase the demand. حيزيد الطلب and the demand curve will shift to the right. حينتقل منحنى الطلب إلى اليمين, causing a shift from the earlier one to the next one, from D to D dash. Okay, this is causing. Also, your colleagues Mehreen has proposed something new. She said if the income increased, if the income increase of people, high standards of livers increase, the shift of the demand curve also could occur to the right. إذا زاد دخلك هيزيد طلب. If the income increase, the demand will increase. What else? Test, trend, maybe trend. If the trend these days is going to the cinema, so the demand of the cinema, the demand curve of going to the cinema will go to the right. If the trend is these days is using iPhone, not using Samsung, for example, so the demand of iPhones will shift to the right. So people test is changed. This will cause a demand curve to be shift to the right or to the left. What caused the demand curve to shift to the left? Expectations of the futures, good one. We don't have usually fixed price of the goods. We are in open economics. If we determine and fix the prices, we have just spoken about that. And since if we have price roof or price ceiling, and حيكون عندي في النهاية shortage or surplus. إذا كان عندي fixed price حيكون عندي shortage or surplus. The number of buyer increase, we said that earlier, good one. And sometimes I said it not just move to the right, it might move to the left also. ممكن منحنى الطلب ينزاح إلى left if the test has been changed. صاروا ناس ما يشربوا كوفي وشاي عادي، صاروا مثلا يشربوا كابتشينو لاتيه فال demand curve of tea and coffee will shift to the left. طيب, these things cause a shift in demand. As you propose some of them, here are some of the factors causing a shift in demand curve. Price of complementary goods. Complementary goods, السلع المكملة. And we'll see how this price, how the shift or the changes in price of complementary goods cause a shift in demand curve. Price of substitute goods, سعر السلع البديلة كمان بيأثر على منحنى الطلب. الانكم الدخل normal or inferior goods. You know, preference also change or cause a shift in demand curve, number of buyers in the market, expectation about the futures. Let's discuss the complementary concept and substitute concepts and normal and inferior goods concepts. Normal and inferior goods concepts means that the good is normal and it's necessary goods, necessary for anyone. So if the price or if the income increase, so for sure this is a normal goods and the demand on that will be higher, not just the normal goods. But if it is an inferior goods يعني سلع رديئة. If your income increase, what happened to the demand of the inferior goods? If your income increase, what happened to the demand of inferior goods? Increase. What's the inferior goods? اللي هي السلع الرديئة، السلع التقليد، السلع الرخيصة، cheap food items. Exactly خلود. Exactly Noor. This will decrease the demand curve and shift the demand curve to the left. If your income increase, the demand curve of inferior goods will shift to the left, isn't it? Don't you think so? زي ايش? Who give us an examples of inferior goods? Inferior goods, inferior foods. ما عندك الفول والطعمية من السلع الانفيريورز اللي هي الرخيصة اللي الفقراء بياكلوها. بس لو واحد if your income become more or increase, you will not eat فول and طعمية again. You will eat pasta and lasagna and burger and something like that. You will shift from the inferior goods to a luxury goods. Fake brands also. You will not buy a fake brands also. Nokia iPhone, this is not accepted, Kulut. This is not a fake goods. You mean an old items maybe? طيب. What's the goods that you think if your income increase, the demand curve will shift to the right and increase? If your income increase, you will increase your consumptions of these goods. بيسموها الاكسلنت جودز او السلع الممتازه. السلع الايش؟ luxury cars, good one هايفا. travel and tourists. السياحه والسفر يزيد طلبك، السياحه والسفر اذا زاد دخلك. This is excellent good we say. Khulud, you have to understand the concept that we are saying about. We are talking about inferior goods. If inferior goods prices, if the income increase, if your income goes down, you cannot buy an iPhone. No, this is not an example of an inferior goods. iPhone is not an inferior goods. I just asked you to give me an examples of inferior goods, and that was فول and طعمية and fake items, brands as Haifa said. And now I'm talking about an excellent goods اللي هي السلع الممتازة اللي هي السلع الكمالية complementary goods, luxury goods, luxury cars, travels, something having funds, famous restaurants, maybe brand restaurant who sell in high prices. That will increase in case of inferior, excellent goods. طيب, let's say see some examples in here about the tennis markets. عندي التنس كورت والتنس بول. They are complements. Complements يعني بيكملوا بعض، سلع مكملة. Tennis court and tennis ball are complements. If rent for tennis courts decrease, إيجار ملاعب التنس decreased, demand for tennis ball increase. See? Demand curve shift to the right for the tennis ball. What's happened in the tennis court? Tennis court rents become lower. وهذه السلع مكملة. These are complements goods. إذا انخفض سعر إيجار ملاعب التنس، هيزيد الطلب على كرات التنس. Tennis ball will demand curve will shift to the right. So you have to say that this is the analytical questions that similar to these questions will come to the exam. It will check your understanding of the concept or the demand or the concept of complements and inferiors and the microeconomics theories concepts. Okay, واضح؟ Tennis courts rents become down. Can at the beginning it was 10, now it goes down. Okay, tennis courts rents comes down. What happened to the tennis ball demand? The demand of the tennis ball will increase and it will go to the right. Another examples, سلع مكملة, complements goods. Who can give me pair of complements goods? Pair of complements goods. Tea and sugar, isn't it? Printer and cartridge. سلع مكملة, complements goods. Another examples. Kids and batteries. Oh, come on. Are you kidding? Kids toys and batteries. Good one. Sorry. I just saw it. Kids and batteries. Kids toys and batteries. Good one, Mehreen. If the batteries price goes down, kids toys demand curve will increase and shift to the right. iPhone and Samsung phones are not complement, they are substitute goods. Phones and chargers, they are complements. Good one. If chargers prices goes down, demand on phones will go shift to the right and will increase. Good one, Abdullah. Car and gasolines. If the price of gasolines goes down, the demand of cars will increase. Good one. If the car gasolines goes up, the demand of cars will go down. Paper and printers, yeah, accepted. Okay. PlayStation and its accessories. Good one, Amina. But write it in English, please. The exam will come in English. Okay, you understood the concept of complements. Let's shift to the concept of substitutes. Substitute, as Abdullah says, or Muhammad says, iPhone and Samsung. If the price of Samsungs goes down, the demand of iPhones will goes up. Isn't that substitute goods? هنا علاقة relations in substitutions. If the price of the internet connection decrease, demand for overnight delivery decrease. This is the internet connections. If the price of the internet connections goes down, what happened to the demand of the overnight letter delivery? ساعي البريد العادي ما عاد حيشتغل works, so he will relax and the demand on that will go to the left. This is a substitutes relations. If the price of Samsungs goes down, the demand of Samsung's iPhones, the demand of iPhones will go shift to the right or to the left. إذا أسعار سامسونج انخفضت, decrease, Samsung price decreased, demand on iPhone will increase or decrease. Substituting. Decrease, good one. No, not increase, decrease. إذا انخفضت أسعار السامسونج, أسعار منحنى الطلب على الآيفون will decrease, will shift to the left. Will shift to the left. لأنها سلع بديلة. Substitutes. Clear? Should we move on? Any question before we move? Naturalists conventionally located apartments اللي هي الشقق اللي قريبة من مكان السيتي أو السيتي centers. If the government wage raise إذا زادت الدولة الرواتب تمام. Metro stations apartments or demand for apartments near metro stations will increase. حيزيد الطلب الناس على البيوت الغالية اللي جنب السيتي. Okay, demand increase, price increase, quantity increase. So this will shift the demand curve to the right because of government wage increase. زاد الدخل، زاد الطلب على البيوت اللي جنب السيتي واللي كانت إيجاراتها عالية وما كان أحد يقدر يشتريها ويدخل فيها. لما زادت الدولة الرواتب صاروا الناس كلهم بيشتروا بياخذوا بيوت جنب السيتي سنترز وجنب الترين ستيشنز. Demand for normal goods increase when income increase. Demand for inferior goods increase when income decrease. When income decreased. هذا what we have spoken about earlier about the demand and supply of inferior goods, the demand of inferior goods. When the price of good change move to the new quantity supplies. إذا كان السعر هنا 2 هنطلع إلى 4 حتزيد الكمية المعروضة إلى 16. Assume everything except price is held constant. متى يزيد العرض؟ When the supply increase only when supply increase when sellers are willing to offer more for sales at each possible price. هيزيد العرض. We shift to the left, to the right عفوا. إذا حب العارض يزيد العرض shift to the right. Supply curve will shift to the right only if a new technology comes, the sellers would like to offer more, the numbers of sellers increases, and these factors, all of these factors shift the supply curve to the right. Supply curve shift to the left when sellers are willing to offer less of sales each possible price. They will shift the whole or the entire supply curve to the left. If we reduce or the sellers decide to reduce the number of goods offered for sales. These are factors can affect the shift in supply and demand curve, and we have discussed these things earlier with you, which are change in technology, change in the price of the inputs or the wage, number of sellers, expectations. These things affect the movement of supply and demand curve. This is another example. When a new technology reduces the cost of productions, think of it and analyzes what happened if the new technology reduced the productions of any items. Supply shift right. هيصير عندي supplements كثيرة الآن. التكنولوجي وفرت الإنتاج بعدد كبير. بدل ما كان ينتج يدوي, instead of hand making products, they are now using new technology to produce more. This will enhance the supplementary and will shift the supply curve to the right, causing the equilibrium price to fall and the equilibrium quantity to rise. هينزل هذا منحنى الطلب. This is the demand curve is fixed, ثابت demand curve. But the new technology came and this enhanced the supply and it will move the supply curve to the right, and this will cause the price the determined price goes down and the required quantity to be more. This is the type of the questions that might come in the exam, so concentrate on it please. Cost of productions. تكلفة الإنتاج انخفضت. أجرة العمالة انخفضت. التكنولوجيا دخلت وخفضت. Cost of productions affect the supply of product. Cost of fiberglass for skateboards increases, supplies decrease. Okay, السكيتبورد بيدخل في صناعتها one of the ingredients of making skateboards fiberglass. So if the price of fiberglass increase, ايش حيصير عندي في السكيتبورد supplements? It will decrease. هنتج أقل. With no change in the demand ثابت, skateboards increase and the supplementary of skateboard will go to the left. عشان ايش؟ عشان ال input price of input increase, the productions will decrease and the supplements will be less and the supply curve will shift to the left. واضح؟ Okay, خلود. This we here in this case we have a fiberglass which is an input in manufacturing skateboards. السكيتبوردز اللي هي قوالب التزلج بيدخل في تصنيعها الفايبرغلاس. So الفايبرغلاس prices has increased. Fiberglass prices has increased, which is an input to the skateboard manufacturers. So when the price of the input increase, the supply will be less. So the supply curve will shift from the right to the left. Will shift to the left from S to S dash, causing what? Causing the supply to be less. Instead of supplying 1,000, they will supply only 800. And the price was 60. Now the price of the input increased. The offered price by suppliers become 80. And the quantity will be 800. So in the past, they were supplying at the price of 60 and they were offered 1,000 units. When the price of the fiberglass, which is the input of the skateboards, increased, زادت تكلفة الإنتاج, productions cost increased, the suppliers offered only 800 at the price of 80. They decreased the quantity offered and they increased the price of selling. واضح؟ Another example. Cost of labor used to produce houses. تكلفة العمالة اللي بتبني البيوت انخفضت, decreased. Supply will increase. على طول مدخل input. Supply will increase and the supply curve will shift from the left to the right. لما يقول لك shift in supply, يعني حيجيك سؤال في الامتحان يقول لك مثلا labor used to produce houses decrease. What's the effect on supply curve? انت لازم تعرف this will increase supply. ادخل من مداخل الانتاج انخفض سعره, حيزيد العرض, راح يزيد العرض. Demand is constant. الديماند ثابت, ما علينا علاقة فيه. فإذا انخفضت أجرة الأيدي العاملة, تمام, من 1000 إلى 500, مش حزيد أجيب أيدي عاملة وأنتج أكثر. Isn't it? I'm going to hire more labor and will increase the productions, and this will increase the supply and shift the supply curve from S to S dash, which is the new equilibrium at the price of 90. كمان خفضنا السعر. ليش؟ لأنه الانبوت price decreased and I offered more because of the reductions in the wage of labors. Okay, we have rules here to conclude the four examples that we have gone through. Supply and demand shift for rules. An increase in demand will lead to increase in both the equilibrium price and the quantity. So the shift will increase the equilibrium price and quantity. This is what we call shift in demand. A decrease in demand will lead to decrease in both equilibrium price and quantity. هنسحب منحنى الطلب إلى اليسار إذا انخفضت الكمية المطلوبة. An increase in supply will lead to a decrease in equilibrium price and increase in the equilibrium quantity. انخفض العرض وانزاح منحنى العرض إلى اليمين. This will lead to a decrease in quantity and in the price. The last stage, a decrease in supply will lead to an increase in the equilibrium price and the decrease in the equilibrium quantity. These are the four relations ما بتخرج عنها الأربع حالات اللي أمامنا. Examples are in the textbook. Go through these examples, read it carefully, and find the relations and how demand curve and supply curve shift to the right and to the left. This is another example in front of you. Ghee for frying halwa is harmful and the price of carrots harvesting equipment decrease. طيب هنا علاقة متقاطعة. This is two things happen at the same time. One things happen at the supply side, one things happen at the demand side. At the demand side الناس عرفوا انه الحلوى او الكيف او الحلوى الدسم او الحلا او الجريس اللي موجود في الحلوى مضر بالصحة harmful. Okay, هذا على جانب الطلب. On the demand side they understood that halwa is harmful. Okay, on the supply side the carrot harvesting equipment decrease. اللي الأجهزة اللي بتحصد الجزر انخفضت واللي بيصنعوا منها الحلوى. فاثنين حدثوا at the same time. الديماند حينخفض and will cause the frying halwa harmful. This caused the demand curve to shift to the left. Carrot harvest equipment decrease. This caused supply curves to the right. So I will have a new equilibrium point which is S dash and D dash. Two things happening at the same time. فإذا جاك في الامتحان, if it comes at the exam, you have to be able to explain the directions of supply and demand curves exactly in a correct way. واضح? Is it clear? Okay. Lana, would you like to say something? Khalid, okay. I would say again, if two relations or two actions from both sides, from demand and supply, two actions happen at the same time. لو جو قالوا لك الحلوى مضرة بالصحة والأجهزة أو المكائن اللي بتحصد وبتصنع الحلوى رخصت at the same time become cheaper. طيب two effects will happen at the same times. لما يقول لك الحلوى مضرة بالصحة, الطلب على الحلوى إيش راح يصير في demand on halwa will decrease, isn't it? Decrease. خالد, demand على الحلوى ينخفض لما الناس تتوعى وتعرف إنه الحلوى مضرة بالصحة. هيعمل shift للديماند كيرف to the left. هيقل الطلب. Okay? At the same time, I told you that the machine that making halwa decrease. The price of these machines decrease. So people who produce halwa will increase their productions and they will produce more halwa. هينتجوا حلوى أكثر. ليش؟ لأنه الأجهزة اللي بتصنع الحلوى هم السبلايرز صارت عندهم التكلفة أقل, هينتجوا أكثر. So supply curve will shift to the right, demand curve will shift to the left, and they will meet at the point here where S dash and D dash. Thank you خلود. خالد واضح؟ Okay, I have just completed the task in here. If you have any questions? Any questions? In that case, we have completed. Not yet, sorry, let's go on. We have another concept, another example. Okay, let's go to the other examples. Prices are highest during the price of heaviest consumptions from high demand. Prices are lowest during the periods of heaviest consumptions for high supply. No, this is an example, it's nothing new. For that we have just completed the task. The attachments or the appendix at the end of chapter 3, which are the equations and something like that, are not required. So you are not required to do the equations and the things that required by the appendix. Mostly done. Chapter 3, we have only one chapter, which is chapter 6, to complete the task and to conclude. Let me show you now how to do the quiz. Most of you would like to know how to do the quiz. Okay, the quiz inshallah will be next Thursday as announced on OOU websites or LMS. I will share the screen to show you how to log in to the quiz. Okay. This is the main LMS homepage. Okay. You go to Central LMS. Then go to McGraw-Hill. Okay. Connect. This is the way how to log into the textbook, how to read the textbook. I strongly recommend you to go to the textbook and browse the textbook, do the exercises, read the materials of the textbook. Confirm. Okay, let's go again. Let's get back, start again, start over from the beginning, from the main AOU website. Let's make it in English. The quiz will be inshallah on Thursday at 2 specific times. You have 2 chances to do the quiz. One chance at the first time and the second chance. No, you have only one chance to do the quiz. You are not you will not be able to do the quiz 2 times. If you do the quiz twice, you will get 0. Your mark will disappear and will not be a chance to do it again. Okay? Here is an announcement. Here is an announcement showing you that the time of the quiz will be on Thursday, 27th of February, and you have chance number 1 from 10 to 11 a.m. Log in and do the quiz. The quiz time is 30 minutes. And another time, if you are unable to do the quiz at 10 a.m. to 11, you can do it from 3 to 4 at the same time, Thursday, 27th of February. Look, the quiz might take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, no more than that, but you have a time limit of 30 minutes to do the quiz. So if I say from 10 to 11, don't come at 10:45 and do the quiz and say, oh, I have no time. No, start at 10, you will end at 10:30. Start at 10:30, you will end at 11. So the time period of the quiz, 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it will be closed. So try to answer the 10 questions, 10 multiple choice questions. Okay, and the quiz materials is chapter 1 only chapter 1. What we have spoken about now, it's not entered to the quiz. To do training to the quiz, try to answer and solve these questions. Practice chapter 1. If you click on here, try to solve all of these questions. See this practice of chapter 1. See, there are lots of questions in here. Answered question, multiple choice. The quiz will be multiple choice questions, similar to this. These are the questions you have here to study, around 144 questions. Try to these things and you'll be fine. The question marks for this quiz is 7.5. 7.5 من ال15. This is quiz 1. You will have another quiz after we complete chapter 3 and 6. So now today we have just completed chapter 3. The quiz materials only in chapter 1. Try to solve these questions. Try to read the textbook. Try to read the slides. Try and understand the concept in chapter 1. And inshallah you will do very well. Okay. I will try to Okay, another thing to tell you about the midterm exam. The midterm exam will be on 24th of March at 10. The exam schedule is being announced on the main OU website. Log in to the main OU website and see the exam schedule and find the midterm exam time and date. So it will be on 24th of March. The Eco101 will be at 10 to 12. You have to attend at your center and you will see the exam committee respecting you and receiving you and directing you to your classes to start the exam. كل واحد يروح للسنتر تبعه ويعمل الميدتيرم exam. حيكون أسئلة essay questions, analytical questions. You will be asked to say where is the demand curves go, right, left, what happens, what's the demand definition. Inshallah, I will see you before the midterm exam and we will solve a past exam together by the next lecture. Inshallah, we will solve a past exam and we will see how can we solve the exam questions. Okay, let's get back to the main LMS website here to see how to log into the quiz. Okay, how to conduct the quiz. There is a PowerPoint here file. Click on this file and you will see how to conduct the quiz. Download the file and here will show you how to conduct the quiz. If you are unable to log into the LMS, this will be an issue. Please contact your center to assist you how to log into LMS. This is how to conduct the quiz. Username and password LMS. Go to Central LMS, then click on Magro Hill Campus, then connect as you just saw. How did I do it? Go to connect, just follow the steps and you will see the quiz. demo quiz. There will be a demo quiz. You can perform the demo quiz, but the quiz will come and will be open on the time. It will not be open today. Let's try to do the process. CLMS. هيكون عندك practical quizzes. بعد كده تروح للماكرو هيلب. Maybe let me see where it is exactly. Yes, Magro Health Campus. Then connect. Then follow the steps that shown by the PowerPoint file.